Bonjour les batteurs motivés, donc là je suis avec Anika Niles qui est en fait intervenante sur un drum camp, un stage de batterie intensif, là, le 360 Experience Drum Camp. Donc c'est vraiment un super stage de batterie où on apprend plein de trucs. Et donc j'en profite pour pouvoir faire une petite interview avec Anika. Et là on va passer en anglais parce que Anika elle est allemande et elle parle très bien l'anglais. Et donc vous aurez les sous-titres en français en dessous sous la vidéo. Ceux qui ne connaissent pas Anika, we're switching in English now.
Right.
So if some people don't know you, well, that's you're on the front cover of Batteur Magazine, which is it's one of the most
really nice to be there.
Yes. You would to present yourself to drummers, to new drummers that don't know yourself. How would you present yourself?
I would say I'm a drummer, a musician, composer, and educator. That's my main topics.
Yeah, so you don't consider yourself just as a drummer or just as a musician?
No,
so
I
it's
do a mix of that all
Yeah.
the time, yeah. Yes.
And that's what makes your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
All right.
is how I make my living.
Okay, so I've prepared a set of very short questions that would be very interesting for the readers of the blog. And so the first question I want to ask in this area is like, do you remember when you started running?
Yes, I can remember the time where I started drumming.
Yeah?
I mean, it's there were not this one day where I really started,
No,
but I grew up with my dad, who was a drummer at that time too, and he rehearsed with his band in our basement. And for some reason, I got into drums, so. He let me play on his instrument here and there and just taught me the first things and realized there is an interest, and he just always supported it.
Okay, so there was a kind of natural interest in the instrument. And how old were you at that time?
It was around 5.
Okay.
And with 6 years, my parents put me into local music school to really get serious lessons.
Oh, at the age of 6 years old. Okay, so it's pretty early.
Yeah, it's pretty early, but it was kind of a pre-school thing.
Okay, so like more getting into.
No, it was already playing snare. It was mainly playing snare and learn how to read music.
Oh.
Yeah, in a really early stage. And after 1 year, it got more into real drum lessons.
So your reading started from 6.
Yes, but I wasn't that good in reading, and I stopped this kind of lessons as I was 10. So, and then there were no reading anymore. So I got the basics, but everything else was really hard work at some point.
All right, but which is interesting because it leads you to another question I had is, do you remember practicing? How would you, in those early stages of learning the drums, did you consider that you were practicing, or at that time or was more like playing?
In my case, I was more lazy as I was younger in that direction, so I played more than I did really practice. Because there's a huge difference between practice something out, working something out, or just play. And I played along a lot of music, so, and I'm sure learned a lot of things, like more about feeling, and trained my ears to musically playing, but it was less skills.
Okay, so like sense of music?
Yes, it was more like how to feel music, how to understand music in a emotional way, but I haven't had that much skills, like really techniques or knowledge in theory and stuff like that.
And stuff.
Yes,
right. So also get into the next question is like, if people are new to the drums, what would you advise as a path to start drumming? Will be like more on the basics or more on the musical directions? What would be your advice to start drumming in a good way, in a sense that it's going to be on the long term, basically?
I think it has to be in balance. So if you just do lessons and don't play along music or don't have the chance to play with other musicians on some point, means probably 3 or 4 years after you started, then it's then probably you don't really get what music means, because we all learn an instrument, and on some point the instrument is made to create music, you know, and this is why I would say take lessons, definitely. Study with someone who can tell you some basic stuff, some theory stuff, technique and all the skills, but also just play a lot along music and forget what you've learned, just feel it, just do whatever comes out, and probably you can stop, play, and just recreate something and press play again and do it in the right way. You know, this is also kind of a way of studying your instrument, but it's more a completely different approach. Like when you listen to music and you feel, okay, I can't really handle this right now, this groove is too heavy, and stop the play button and just do it slower, recreate it again without the music, make yourself a little bit more comfortable on it, and then try again to play along the music.
So if I summarize, it's a good balance between playing with the music and not to overthink it.
And
then
it.
And then getting to the techniques and okay.
And also definitely start playing with other musicians. If it's just a friend who plays bass or guitar, it doesn't have to be a full band environment. It can be also just one other musician.
What would you say to the people who say, I'm not good enough to play in a band?
That's not true.
I love that answer, because
that's
I believe
not true, because this is just your own way of thinking, and that's sometimes simply not true.
Okay.
You know, we talked about to record yourself when you practice, which is also probably good advice. Record yourself and listen to yourself afterwards as someone who sits in the audience, because when you play, you feel and hear everything completely different as people who are watching and hearing you play. And sometimes you realize I sound way better than I thought, or this is more fluid than I thought. And sometimes it's of course the opposite, but this is also a good thing, because then you know on what you have to work. And just for the watcher, because we're jumping back on the conversation we had before, was recording yourself at the very early stage of working out something totally new, and that can be a symbol, a paradiddle. You have never done a paradiddle before, and it's not fluid and stuff. And then working out, because with the accent, all that program that you mentioned, very step by step. At the early stages, it won't be fluid, but we will forget about it. Once you get along, and when it gets better, record us again and compare the two after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And the problem is always that when we learn something, we always see what we cannot do at the moment. I still have this, and I play drums for 30 years now, and I still see what I can't do. But I've learned in a really hard way that I also have to see what I can do and what are my strengths are, not only the weaknesses. And this is a good thing to motivate yourself, to be motivated, and that's a really, really powerful tool if you can handle it, to see your strengths and of course your weaknesses, but also keep this in a balance. This keeps you definitely motivated to go forward. On the motivation, I also told you about the fear of recordings. It's like everyone is really, when I started recording myself, and I don't do it as often as I should, I must say. I'm still the record button, I have the impression changed my playing, because
what would you say on this fear of recordings?
I mean, everyone is scared by something, but at some point you have to go over it. Otherwise, you will never make progression.
Yeah, Amy, she taught us something like count 5, 4, 3, 2, go, and don't think.
Yeah, you have to go through it at some point. You have to overgo, or how to say, overcome your fear. And
All right. So for beginner drummers, start with music, a little bit of theory, well balanced, take lessons.
Definitely take lessons.
And don't fear recordings.
Yes.
They are your friends.
Yeah, they are your friends.
They will show you progression.
You know, this is just you see yourself. No one else. And you have to just...
You don't have to put them on YouTube.
No, you don't have to. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Or Instagram or whatever. So you don't have to. True. Okay, I think it's very good and valuable advices for beginning drummers, because now we see so many, looks perfect on everywhere.
Sure. Everyone puts just the perfect stuff out.
The one take that worked out.
Yes, sure.
We don't know how many takes there were before.
But this is the main goal, to make it once at least good.
Yeah. But also we don't see how many hours of work there's before.
You just see the peak of the iceberg, you know? Everything else, what's under the water, all these years of practicing, you can't see it, you just see the tip.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So in that sense, this massive amount of information is not helping, because it sets the bar so high, but everyone was a beginner at the beginning.
Sure.
So, all right, I think it summarized it all up very good. So, for the one who want to discover a little more of your work and how to find you, your current projects, like, are you in a band? What's what's gonna happen to you? Like,
yeah, right now I'm working.
How to find you also?
Oh yeah, how to find me. That's good. Let's start with that. So if you want to see or hear what I'm doing, so you definitely should go to YouTube, check out my YouTube channel, Anika Music, and there you will find several videos where I perform original songs by myself. It's only me on the drums, but there are coming up like around 8 new videos with the band. We play some of the songs with the band, and also a new, the microphone here. Also some new tracks.
What's your band name?
The band name is Never.
Never. I'm gonna put all the links underneath the video, so we can find it back.
Yeah, and with Never we also play live, like regular band shows, and you can check this like dates and also lesson information. I do Skype lessons and stuff, and intense courses. You can check this on my website.
Yeah,
it's anikaniles.com or anikaniles.com. And and right now I'm working on the second full album with new songs, new material. Exciting. It should be dropped around September.
Alright, so by the time the video will be out, I don't know. Maybe the drum camp is over.
Yeah, probably the drum camp is over.
Maybe, but for sure the new album is to come, and So if you're interested in Anika's work, there will be everything underneath the video to follow you.
Yes,
and,
right.
She's great.
Cool. Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
a lot. Oh, something. Because that was really funny. When since I'm living abroad, I didn't know you were on the front page of Batteur Magazine, and I told you it's my usual trip. I got 2, and would you be so kind to have an autograph of one of them, and so I can have a prize draw for any of the watchers, and I'm going to figure out something so they can get their own issue of the magazine.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So thanks a lot. And then I will be my one. But that was really, for me, I didn't know. So it was really amazing coincidence, I would say.
All right.
So Voilà, donc on va avoir avec Anika, il y en a quelqu'un qui va pouvoir avoir ce magazine signé d'Anika. Donc merci beaucoup and hope to see you again.
Yeah.
I think, are you coming in France, you're back?
Next year there are 2 clinics planned for France.
Ok, so l'année prochaine, il y aura déjà 2 cliniques en France pour Anika.
The dates will be on my website too.
Yes. Voilà, c'est sur son site web. Thank you very much, it was so kind for me. Thank you and keep going.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.